Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with another tutorial for the Outer Worlds. Today I will be helping you become rich in the Outer Worlds without any glitches or exploits because we do not cheat on this part of the web. Now, I originally uploaded a tutorial video when the Outer Worlds first came out, which was 7 things I felt you needed to know before diving in. A huge thank you to all of you who supported that video, it did really well, and I thought this would be a smart continuation of that because now that we all have the Outer Worlds in our hands, we're looking for those unique weapons and armor, and a lot of them are held by vendors, so you want to get all the bits, which is the game's currency, in hand, and I want to help you get as many as possible so you can freely spend it wherever you want. This will be helpful in a supernova playthrough or even the easiest of difficulties. So we're going to start off with building your character. It's worth noting that in the beginning, no skills influence your ability to sell or how much you can sell for. That's locked away in the perks. You unlock a perk every 2 levels in the Outer Worlds. So here are some suggestions that can help you accumulate items to sell and also increase the amount that you will receive when you sell an item or decrease when you are buying. It starts off with Hoarder, which reduces the consumable weight by 50%. So consumables are something that would be helpful in a supernova playthrough, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're playing on the normal difficulty, you do not need these at all. I never used them once in my playthrough. Sell them. And if you're collecting a bunch of them, which most levels are peppered with tons of consumables, grab them all, reduce the weight by 50%, and sell them all. The game is very generous with carry weight in the first place, which is why I also suggest that you pick up Pack Mule, which provides you an extra 50 pounds of carry weight so you can pick up more loot. This isn't just for consumables, of course. You just want that extra space so you can pick up a weapon, and instead of breaking it down because perhaps you already have enough weapon parts and armor parts, you can just sell these weapons, right? And that's where a lot more bits can come into play. Furthermore, when you're doing the selling or buying, these are 2 other perks you'll need. The first is Snake Oil Salesman. This is a must-have. 20% better vendor buying prices. This means when the vendor is buying from you, they will be giving you 20% more per item, which I think is incredibly helpful, especially if you're looking to get rich quick. Furthermore, the Negotiator puts it on the other end, so there is a 20% better vendor price when you are purchasing. So there is a reduction and an increase on the right ends there, which can help you get rich very, very fast. These perks pretty much define how fast you'll get rich because while I do treat it as a tip in this video, as long as you're doing quests, you will be obtaining a decent amount of bits, but it sort of just keeps you above water depending on how much you're spending. For me, I was always spending excessive amounts of bits on new unique weapons and armor. So for me, I would be dropping 5k, 6k at a time, and eventually your funds get depleted if you're just questing. So these perks will help raise your, we'll say, bottom line a little bit. We're going to get a little business friendly in this video, but that'll bring me to my next step, which is talk to the named characters, because the named characters, as I mentioned in my tips videos, will give you quests, and quests ultimately will reward you no matter what in this game. The Outer Worlds is a lot of what you put in is what you get out. So if you put in the time, you do the extra quests, the side quests, the tasks, you will get paid for them handsomely at that. And also, of course, there are choices you can make throughout these quests that can hassle people for additional money if your speech skill is a little bit higher. I don't think it's necessary to build your character around that entirely to maximize all of the income, because I freely acquired everything I needed without being a full-on speech build. I would say I was a silver tongue, but I was not this full-on speech build. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to take that route, but you can acquire additional funds that way. Last but not least, this is just a note for your inventory management in general, but sell those excess weapon and armor mods, because I had so many. I had about like 6 or 7 of each, and I was using them frequently. I was always at the workbench applying them to new weapons, applying them to new bits of armor, but ultimately you start picking up these unique weapons which you can only tinker, which is increasing their damage output, so these mods start to stack up. And unless you're going to be using them for standard light assault rifles or a light pistol, weapons that are, I guess you could say, a basic framework that you can modify, these are easy to get rid of, at least so that you can have just a couple on hand. You don't need 7. You could have like 2 or 3 and be just fine. Furthermore, sell that junk. There is so much stuff you loot in the Outer Worlds, and once again, very, very generous with the carry weight. I have never been over encumbered once in this game, and I looted everything I saw. It may be something they eventually patch, I think, because as I said, it is very generous, but I think that's part of the freedom of this game. A lot of people don't like to constantly manage their inventory. So what you're going to be doing is picking everything up, and all you have to do is have the mind to sell it, to be there and sell it all. So just take that junk, take those mods that you don't need, and make sure to take those perks to help increase what you're going to receive when you sell them. And ultimately, that's your path to getting rich in this game. It is nothing complex, but I think some people overthink it in RPGs. Some people feel like they're just treading above water. So these are just some tips from me to you. The perks do make a difference. Do you need all 4 that I listed today? I'd really say just make sure you at least get Pack Mule, some additional carry weight, has never hurt any RPG player, and make sure you get Snake Oil Salesman. At least get 20% more when you're selling. Maybe you don't need the reduction in price if you're doing all the quests in the game. You don't need to spend a perk point on reducing the vendor's price, but at least increase what you're getting when you sell. That would benefit you the most, in my opinion. That'll do it for me, though, ladies and gentlemen. A bit of a shorter video today. There's a lot going on in the MrMattyPlays household. A secret project is under works, so we're getting closer to that. And with all of that being said, I thought it'd be nice to have a shorter video to help you all digest some of the longer form content I've been doing. I think it's important that I don't overload it. So a shorter video today. We'll be back to normal tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you're thinking of the Outer Worlds in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.